an update on the litigation pending with Cain.
Oh, good. I hope you're as enjoying this as much as I am.
It is fun in the sense that it's somewhat absurd. He's not sure if you're aware, but Cain actually sued us first.
Yeah, Jerry keeps me up to date on just a snippet, but I don't need more than a snippet. And he said the next thing is we're going to sue him back. Jerry, I feel like Jerry really knows what he's doing, and he's drawing Cain into a trap.
Cain has drawn himself in.
Yeah, but I feel like Jerry knows what he's doing. And he took this on. If he hadn't taken this on, it would be just the way we thought it was going to go. We just failed to be able to do it and let go of it.
True.
So we know that there is destiny here. And we also know that we're getting a new communities developing around this.
Yeah. It was curious to know that, or to see that Cain actually fabricated a new lease or a new version of the lease that was unsigned.
Perfect.
Had a lot of extra language in it that would support what he's doing now, but was absent from the original contract.
Yeah, Jerry, you made it a little more specific, but I got that. Jerry mentioned that too.
Yeah.
So Jerry he's already thought out what that means and how to blow it out of the water and how to use that to make his situation worse after a while. It's just a matter of, we don't know what his end goal is, but we do know that he wants money.
Well, that second lease that he came up with, it's not signed, is a definite sign of his attempt to screw you.
Oh yeah, well he's gotten to that point.
That's evidence. That's evidence.
I think for him it'd be better if we screwed ourselves, and we were heading in that direction without really knowing the full picture of it, and then the archangel Jerry stepped in out of the blue. And look at how it all happened. I mean, what are the odds that this is like an accident? It's not at all. I mean, Jerry was sitting here at that table when we first talked about it and put together the contract. So, and Jerry's taking this on because not just because of us, because he's realized that Cain is doing this to a lot of people, putting them in deals that he thinks that they don't know how to handle, and then taking everything back himself. He said he knows him doing that. So in a sense, Jerry is taking this on as part of a relationship that he's had with Cain, and they've done business things together. And he got to the point where he didn't want to be part of him and what he was doing anymore. And now he's decided to be like the Lone Ranger, take him to account.
Great. Go for it.
Anyway, I've never been part of anything like this before, and I'm just really grateful for the adventure. It's kind of interesting, and I know these people really well. So I was asking questions. He's the guy that often was more comfortable supporting at a distance than being more directly involved. And back when we had that place in Long Beach, I used to point that out to him. But I feel like this is a very special thing for function. To be in this situation, I feel like something in you is going to transform through Source bringing this through, because I live in a reality where the Shakti is all knowing. The Shakti is real. It's not just like the Holy Ghost. It's like there's really this intelligent force in the universe that's here to help people evolve and grow, and it will help them according to their wish to grow and how much they're focused on growth and ultimate, you could say, liberation from confusion and the becoming into the full potential of themselves. And if their wish to that is very strong, up to 100%, the Shakti will help them that degree. And the extent to which, you know, they're kind of a lot of involved in life and this, that, and the other, and they really don't think about things that much, and they're just living their life, and it's inconvenient. Certain things have happened, and it pisses them off. Shakti won't help you that much. You have to go through the washing machine. So I also have a reality that many of these things are very clearly organized on another level. So you can either say, well, okay, when we were out of our bodies, we put together a life that would cause us to grow in this way and learn these things so it could be of service to evolution, Shakti, to service to life as an evolving experience rather than just, you know, here and then dropping our body one day. So, but another way of looking at it is that it's all happening now, and there are two parts of us that are to a smaller, very small, or a greater degree, including completely, a higher self, and then the self of the psyche or soul. I've mentioned this before, but in Greek, the word for psyche and soul is the same word. And I forget the actual Greek word, but it's psyche. It's essentially psyche. And so there's that part of us, and then there's a part about the life of the body. And the body has needs, it has information, and it also has, well, just that's enough. The body is just doing its own thing, but it's not asleep unless we're asleep to its intelligence. And that can be to smaller or greater degrees. And then if people don't have an intention to grow, then life will give them things that force them to either start looking at things more really, or, you know, finding a nice way to exit. And I don't necessarily mean killing themselves. I mean, like, you know, just putting oneself in a permanent state of sleep and going through life, you know, like just realizing how fucked up it is and all that. So having said all that, I feel so happy with what life produces and the opportunities it gives us to play and learn and have fun and grow in our understanding of ourselves and life. And I see nothing but, you know, one thing I like, there are many things I like about the Armenian church that I go to. And one of them is, it's just so interesting, I only found this out recently, the Armenian church is part of the first stage of early Christianity, forming from just an experience of this fellow Jesus on the earth and people gathering around communities that want to live by his teaching, which is the early church. And in the first century, Armenian church was born. It's part of this early church. So it's closest to, as on the physical level, that connection to Jesus or Christianity can be. Of course, a person can find that in their life and be close without having any church at all. But one of the things that separates the Armenian view of Christ, different from a lot of Protestant, and there's no Protestant, maybe some other organizations, is the way they look at the, the Trinity. Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Who is it that we like the most? Okay, I'll try it again. Come on, what's your answer? Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. Who is it we like the most?
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
You talking about him?
Oh,
Yes, you will.
he's got a sh in there though. We
Oh,
got
yeah,
Yahweh
he
and
does.
then got Yeshua.
Maybe that's
Holy Ghost.
transgender guy. Anyway, in the Armenian, the way they look at it is that those are absolutely the same. They're made out of the same substance and they're just manifesting in three different ways. Rather than three different embodiments that God is up here, Christ is here under God, and then the Holy Spirit. It's just seeing it as a celestial, a physical, and an energetic way of one force expressing itself.
There it is.
I don't know why I'm talking about that.
Armenian church.
It's great that you want.
Yeah, I don't know why I started talking about that, but let's see what anybody else wants to talk about.
I have a question.
Oh, what's that?
How is Lucy? How is Lucy, that is your friend at the church, taking all of this contention with?
We haven't talked in, sometimes she's not there on a Sunday because she's in LA or she has other things she has to do. And we haven't actually connected in weeks. And I imagine that Cain knows that we're close. So I imagine he's drawn her into this, I would think. He's a
I would think
strategist.
so.
Yes, he is.
He's got a good mind. He's a good strategist. So there's nothing there. So Prim Dev, is there anything you'd like to talk about? You brought up some really interesting subjects yesterday.
Thanks. Today I don't really have anything.
On a scale of 1 to 10, what is your true happiness quotient right now? At this time in your life, this time.
What is my true what?
Happiness quotient. Scale of 1 to 10.
About 82.
Okay, makes sense.
That's a lot more than 10.
What?
That's a lot more than 10.
You're a 10.
No, she said 82.
And what'd you say? 10?
You said 1 to 10. She said 82.
Well, yeah.
That's a lot.
I definitely got
That's
it.
super
She said
happy.
8.2%.
Oh, 8.2.
Yeah. But Shekinah is here tonight, and I already know her well enough to know she's a 10 plus. She's bursting out of the bubble, which is really super cool because, I don't run into a creature more like me every day. So let's see if, Garuda, there you are. Do
Hi.
you have something you'd like to talk about tonight?
Oh, no, I just am enjoying being with you all. Thank you.
You know, Garuda's probably with Clint, they'd have to be number one in people that involve themselves virtually every time in Dharma Night. Clint is definitely number one, but Garuda's close second, and Prim Dev is coming on more as a third. And
Oh, yeah.
so the reason I like Garuda's, I'm enjoying Garuda here so much is because I've watched her grow in love for this event. And it's like, for me, this is a meeting every night, if anybody wants to come to it, of the sanghat. And I'm aware that the person we call the Buddha, or sometimes we call him Lord Buddha, whatever it is, sometimes we just recognize Buddha as a perfected state of being that could happen to anybody if they went through a certain process. But the Buddha was very clear in expressing that Buddha, wow, Buddha, Dharma, the teaching, and Sangha, the community of practitioners who want to, in their own way, they might not think of it this way, I want to be Buddha, but in their own way, they're in this to self-improve. Or maybe they do want to fully wake up. He saw these as three things. And I've never felt like this community acted like a sangha, or really was a sangha. There was a push about 10, 15 years ago to see if we could get everybody coming to the 4 times a year that we have the comprehensive course. It didn't, it happened 1 or 2 times, but it didn't go anywhere. And so this has turned out to be the most important part of my journey with everyone here, and we're actually building a sangha. And Garuda, I've watched her grow in happiness about this, and I would say she's number one in seeing the beauty and expression of what this means to the heart and the soul.
Love you. Thank you.
I love me too, and you're welcome. I actually love me a lot. I really enjoy my life, and I enjoy the life I've been through, and I enjoy the work I do. I actually have a job. I like it. I love it. So I'm right there with you.
Yes, I know you are.
So let's see if Funchit has more he'd like to talk about.
No, nothing more.
Okay. Clint, what do we have from New York? Do we have anything from New York?
Yes,
What is it?
I had a great conversation with my trainer, and we talked a lot about collaborating together, and I was able to listen and also turn him on as to what he could, what he could be. First off, I wanted to know exactly where he, what place he was in. He was working for a corporation, and I didn't want to get into the whole gossip of why he was leaving. I could just feel, like he had enough. And, it's a pretty big company that, does what I do on a much bigger level, like they franchise but there's also some things that were wrong. So he understood that, and I know that he's going to take with him what he learned. And I could sense he wants to be back home. That's where his family is, which is in Minnesota. So he's a Midwest guy, and his fiance is from there. So I wasn't even gonna push him to coming to New York. I didn't even bring that up. It would be nice if he did. But it looks like it's not going to matter because a lot of what we do is online. And the big sign that I took is that what he wants to do with a couple of his partners in Minnesota, who are also ex-employees, right? They all come from the same company, sort of like kind of like what I got here, like
Like recovering Catholics.
yeah, like what do we call this place? Like a refugee camp of people that just didn't want to put up with their boss and realize that they could, value themselves.
Yeah.
And work. So he's doing that as well with his little group. It's a little group. It's like it sounds like it's two other trainers, and they're gonna go and want to do their own thing. And without me saying like, well, hey, that's already what I do. And, I talked a little bit about it, but the big sign, which I knew that we could move forward in is that, a lot of what I do is on a system, a scheduling system. It's a big part of the business. And, there's quite a few different scheduling systems. I'm sure everyone here is aware of it, like Mind Body Online, for instance. That's the number one scheduling system for, going to yoga class. But then there's a handful of others that we use in the health and fitness industry. And it honestly takes a long time just to understand it and then use it and utilize it. Like it's taken me almost 4 years just to have everyone organized using this schedule. So before I could even tell them that I have it in place and that, you're basically skipping you would skip that whole process because I could, put you on board and we could work this out together. Before I could even say it, he asked me what system I use. I told him I use Vigaro, which is like the Mind Body Online competition. I chose Vigaro because my client is that's his company. And before I could even say Vigaro, he said he's using Vigaro. So that's a pretty it's not very often you get the same scheduling software, which means it would just take like a day to morph all of our clientele into one database.
So would you say he's open to that idea and actually starting to think it out?
He's going to start thinking it out. He's still I can tell there's a little, there's a phase you go through when you start your own business and there's a lot of fear, right? He's no longer getting a paycheck. So I can tell he's going through that. I can tell he wants to be home and he wants to be around people who maybe are in the same position. So, if I collaborate, I just have to be very, I just want to be very mindful that I don't like to play boss. I don't want to have employees. Like I don't want to extort anyone. I feel like that's I want everyone to have their own business. So I think if they understand that, then we'll be able to work. And it feels really good because there's things that I want to do and I wouldn't say it's holding me back because I love doing what I do, but time is my main challenge at the moment. I have over 85 appointments a week. So if I could sort of move those appointments around, then I could also do other things like go to yoga school and sell jiggulators. So
I hear.
it does sound like, I wanted to keep it, I wanted to listen. I'm also not interested in having a conversation with a vision. I'm more interested in, like operationally, how can we work together? So I think I moved that conversation into like, okay, well, let's figure this out, and then let's get on the schedule, and here are the clients, and let's do it. I think that the last thing I'll say, which is that, I'm depending on who you work with, it's you have a different mindset in terms of the actual business. Like, to give you an example, I train people one-on-one, and then, not to stereotype, but there's a younger generation who doesn't train one-on-one and would rather open up that world into you just doing the training, and we'll check in with you, we'll sell you on a package. It's your responsibility to do that training. So I would like to be involved in that because it's less time in a sense for me. And I'd like to do both. I know Yeshua knows about this. It's like if you have a big ticketed item like a program that's already pre-made, you could sell it for $9,000, and it's not like you would have to be there live training that person. They would pay for it, and then you hope that they pay for other things. It's just it's a little bigger scale, and I'm new to that. And these guys want to do that. So that's how I see we could all share each other's vision.
Wow, that's an incredible download.
Yeah,
I'll learn.
it feels great.
I know more about your business now than it went from like 3% to 70%.
Yeah.
I'm really happy that all this is happening, and clearly the next phase of your life is opening up.
Yeah, I want to be able to show them their value. These are all, these are kids. I don't mean kids, but they're younger, and they don't quite see their value yet in terms of, what they charge, and that's a big step for people. If you're in a saturated market and you're only charging $40 for a personal training session, it can be very competitive. But that, like, the guys here charge 110. So, it's I know I'm in New York and I know everything here is expensive, but it's also showing people, what they could do if they worked in that way and they valued themselves. So that's how I see we're going to move forward. I'm going to have to instill that concept into them, and then once they understand it, I think then our packages will start to happen. How's that sound?
Wow.
Yeah, we.
And since you're as regular at Dharma Night as I am.
Right.
Yeah, and so I know that this is going to unfold in real time, and I'm just not an area I know anything about. I love to learn new things, and I love to watch your life unfold from where it was when you were driving around that wannabe Porsche to now. That picture pops up on my screen every few months.
Yeah.
Clint and his wannabe Porsche. Let's see. Romana, do you have something you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. So, David, do you have something you want to talk about?
No, I don't. Thank you, Mershid.
Sophia, I know you talk a lot, but is there something you want to talk about here? Because it doesn't mean you should or you do. I don't know why you're here.
I always want to talk about things, and I always go through tremendous amount of inner struggle and inner growth on a daily basis. It is absolutely consistent. The Shakti works me all the time based on my deep, 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 deep wish to open and grow. I want to ask you, because you sent a text out today through the Heart Drops of Dharmakaya, and it was a text regarding Shantaya and Dustin's new Rudra meditation. And
Yeah.
I worked with this. I went early morning. I went to travel to an appointment, and I did that meditation, and I did it on the way back. So I probably did about 2 hours worth of that meditation to see. And I work really closely with Rudrananda and Nityananda and yourself throughout the day and in practice, and I have a very different experience. So my question is tonight, I started to take notes. Is it appropriate to bring it through Shantaya and Dustin in Dharma Night, where I could actually bring the points of what I've learned? Or would it be appropriate more in a text stream? Because you said I would like to know, but more information is still coming through. So this is kind of, it's been a process because I've actually worked to digest this particular piece that was sent. And I also have my own, it's progressing into what I know and experienced after all these years of that practice.
Wow, it's wonderful that it's stimulating that.
Yeah, there's a lot to it.
Go ahead.
There's so much to that practice. It's just, I'm just saying that's one level. And so I just want to know what's the most appropriate medium to share my experience and share where I feel like it really is the most evolutionary to go, including any person who comes in contact with anybody, what they can do actually to stimulate Rudra in the moment. That's my question.
Okay, so what the thought I had is just to turn to my left and ask Shantaya what she wants in relationship to her question.
The question is how to communicate?
No, the question
Let's
is,
ask about
would you like for me to talk about the things that have come up, my ideas, what I'm experiencing here in Dharma Night? Or would you rather it just be just the two of you talking another time, or what? Isn't that your question?
Yes, what's the most appropriate context to give authentic feedback, but also just where it could go? Because I understand, I really grokked the understanding of what was produced, which was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was transformational. And then I also know in my own inner work, after years of understanding Rudra practice and getting certain results, how I can expand on it so it can go. So it has the possibility by choice on Dustin and Shantaya's journey to be more expanded. But that was my question. What's the appropriate medium to communicate my own experience after having practiced 2 hours with it and my own, and what my understanding of Rudy's message is?
Well, that's the beauty of what we call sanghat, because the conversation happens among people who are very clear that their life is dedicated to growing themselves spiritually, and therefore they have formal way of practicing what we call spiritual practice. And so when those people come together, they're like part of a greater whole that is growing everybody together at the same time in unique and different ways, and also in ways that are the same. So I have no idea what Shantaya's answer is, so I'm just going to ask her, which would you like to do? Would you like for you to start talking and for her to comment and to just talk about it here in community? Or would you rather let you more digest it all and pretty soon the two of you just have a chat?
Mhm.
Or maybe the three of you,
Mhm.
because she and Justin have done this.
Mhm.
Well, I think ideally I would love to hear it in person. And this Thursday is my birthday. So I know you're very busy, but if you're able to make it, we could sit down and talk together. Otherwise, yeah, I think I'd prefer to chat one-on-one about it.
Mhm.
It feels like place for growth in me to open back up to you.
Mhm.
And to fully receive what your thoughts are about it.
Mhm.
So I'll just say that I feel like there's a part of me off. There's a part of me that's still feeling like wounded in our relationship.
Say that again.
Wounded.
Oh.
And so when you bring this forward, like my whole being is like kind of fluttery and my heart's beating fast, and I think there's more to talk about than just what you think about this track that came out of Dustin and I's practice with Rudra through Isa, where we practiced 30 minutes morning and night for I don't know how long, months. It was our main practice, and we created this track to support that practice. And with how much Rudra, how much Isa is facilitating that practice and inspiring that practice in the community, I decided to make it more accessible because it's just been in a Google Drive for so long. So that's why it came out into the chat.
Yeah.
So yeah, it feels tender to just receive what feels like critique in this moment in community. I would rather have a chat with you and talk more broadly about healing our relationship before receiving that from you.
I have to say, if I put myself in her body, that'd be my choice too. I personally like in person, and I'm willing to broach a subject in community, but to have a deep conversation about it and also reflected on whatever has occurred in our relationship before this, that would just ideally happen one-on-one. So that's a good answer. You have something else you'd like to talk about?
No, that was it. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to need to sign off because I have some appointments to handle tonight. So
Have you got 10 more minutes?
not really, because I
Okay.
have to get myself ready. I'm so sorry.
Are you gonna take David too, or is he gonna stick around?
Yep, he's gotta do something and I gotta do something. So we both gotta go different directions. Yeah.
So y'all have to sign up. Okay. Well, after we're so glad you came.
Thank you.
And the wonderful thing you've talked about. And we'll see how that all develops. And now we got a room full of people, and I'm going to ask them the same thing I asked our cyber people.
But Sophia, you're not doing Rudra and driving, are you?
What was your question?
You're not practicing Rudra while you're driving, are you?
No,
Oh, there you
I was doing the practice, the track that Dustin and Shantaya in the
Yeah, it's not
car.
a good idea to drive when you're doing Rudra because of the profound effects it has on your consciousness. It's not a driving practice, really. It's an inner deep practice that wouldn't lend
Yeah.
itself to driving a car. And I don't think it would be safe. So I'd be worried about you doing that driving.
Yeah, I've done both, just so you're aware. But thank you for your insight.
All right. So anybody needs to go can go. And we're going to ask Yeshua if
Thank
there's
you.
anything you'd like to talk about.
First thing is, Clint, I'm gonna reach out to you, and see when it would be a good time to connect about some things work-wise. Just bounce some ideas. That feels good. And Issa, do you remember the song that you sang last night?
The what?
There was a song that you sang last night.
Oh,
No, it was
Sometimes the light is shining on me.
Yeah, that's on that.
No, it was in our conversation early this morning, technically. It was after you had shared the story about the second Sai Baba.
Second what?
That's Mir Baba.
Mir Baba.
Oh, Mir Baba.
Yeah.
Knock on the head.
Yeah.
Right?
We had just
Okay.
finished. You just finished sharing that story with me, and then at some point you shared. I'm gonna do my best to find context around the song. I don't think it wasn't like a mantra or a song of that nature. Come back to me.
Let's see if a little more pops up. Jim, is there anything you'd like to talk about?
I'd like to express my appreciation and gratitude for the discussion of early Christianity, Christ. I think it's really pertinent. Timing is perfect. And I think it's just great.
And what?
I think it's just great.
Yeah. Dustin, got anything you'd like to talk about?
No, I don't.
Shekinah, do you have anything you'd like to talk about?
Has anyone seen fairies?
Is that a movie?
No, like really. Have you seen
The
a fairy?
Oh, actually see fairies.
Yeah, have you seen fairies?
Yeah. Romana, do you have a comment on that?
You into fairies, Ramona? Or are they into you?
Have I seen Barry?
Fairies, F-A-I-R-E-S.
No, Barry is my father.
Oh. Yeah, berries
Talking
are
about
possible.
Mary Manilow.
I think you're saying fairies.
Fairies.
Yeah,
Like
she's
they-
saying, do you see fairies?
I have seen fairies.
Where?
I've seen them in a lot of fairies in Hawaii.
By waterfalls?
Hawaii. In nature. When you're still in nature, they come out. You have to be in a certain state, like seeing angels. You You just notice they're there when you're in a certain state. Have you seen
Cool.
fairies?
I haven't, not that I remember. Probably when I was a kid, but I don't remember it yet.
Well, one of the ways you do it is to ask, because the fairies, they work along the same line as the angels, and they're just waiting for you to ask, because they have so much respect for our free will that they won't intervene unless asked. But they will make their presence known the more you cultivate your relationship with them, acknowledging them in all the ways that they touch your lives. Whenever you notice it, just thank them. They really, that's their job. They really love to serve humanity. And their asan, their seat, their dharma is to serve us in awakening. And in our progress, in our lives personally, the ones that are assigned to you, but they're always there around you. And all you have to do is ask from that same deep place that Rudra takes you. And the same is true of fairies. They're very lighthearted beings. And they also have a sense of humor. And you'll see that. And anybody can do this, cultivate their relationship with their fairies and the nature and their angels in their evolutionary life. And it will become much, much richer for the experience of consciously working with them on a day-to-day basis and acknowledging them and thanking them. And they also love it. They absolutely love it when you sing your prayers. They love it when you sing your prayers.
Say that sentence again. They love it. Say it again.
When they love it when you sing your prayers. They love the Armenian church because they sing their prayers.
Yes, that's true. The whole service is a song.
Yeah, like life.
Wow, that's incredible information. So glad you asked that question.
Thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
now, that
Thank
led
the
me
angels.
to- Go ahead.
I said, thank the angels.
Thank the angels. Okay. That led me to have the idea that because Shekinah wanted to be part of whatever community thing we do, so I added you to the Heart Drops thread.
The what?
The group chat,
iMessage?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Do you ever use iMessage to do texting with people?
Yeah, right?
Chat.
Just like the regular
It's a
green
group
one.
chat for this.
Is that in a special app or is it just through iMessage?
No, it's just regular old thread of, more than one person. Do you have your phone on you?
Yes, it's right here.
Yeah. So help her log into the Heart Drops thread, because I did put her on it. Let's just be sure. I've never done that on Own North Works. Let's see. Do you have something you'd like to talk about?
I have an update for those of you guys that were here the other night when I said I was going to go to an interview at Elizabeth Hospice Compassionate Care Center. I got accepted there for my practicum. Yeah.
Congratulations.
And so I'm going to be starting there in grief counseling for a community, as well as counseling for people in hospice. I'm starting in August. So very excited about that and very happy that that worked out.
Does everybody understand what's gonna be our new job? Amma, Ramana? Anyone talk?
Hospice job that she wanted. Congratulations.
Thank you. Woo!
How does that work? Are you automatically seeing people who've lost loved ones?
So
Or do they
there's
choose?
an onboarding training. It's a month and a half long or so, with a cohort of individuals like myself who are associates with, it's a nonprofit organization, but essentially I'm acquiring hours toward my therapist licensure through what is called a practicum. So it's kind of like a internship in a way. It's unpaid work, but I'm learning through my experience. And they have a lot of structure around bringing us on to be fully informed and educated and successful in the field. So that starts in August. And then, yeah, I'll be seeing clients focused in grief counseling. So it'll be both group counseling, private counseling. I'll be working with children and adults. It's a really amazing experience. It's so broad, the kind of experience that I'll get. And they're also quite holistic. They have a lot of amazing spaces like music rooms, play rooms. They have this volcano room for the kiddos, which is like a fully padded room with like padded materials to release emotions. Yeah, they have a stand play room, which is this kind of more Jungian oriented form of therapy where in a way you're kind of bringing your dream into a space with different figurines in sand, and there's a technique for interpreting that and processing that. So yeah, they really support their associates in specializing in what they are passionate about, like the kinds of modalities they're passionate about. And they bring in experts to teach if there's a particular interest in like a specific modality. They partner with the FBI. They partner with safe housing. They partner with orphanages. They partner with 26 school districts in San Diego. So they're really well connected to the community, and they refer out and they receive referrals from the community. It's really amazing.
Are your hours going to be supervised?
Yeah, so there's a ratio that's required. It's like 1 to 5. So for every 5 hours that I'm doing work, 1 hour has to be supervised, something like that. Yeah, some percentage of them are.
There's a
They also, go ahead.
Shantaya,
Yeah.
my namesake, Ramana Maharshi. There's a really powerful story about Ramana Maharshi and how he helped his mother leave her body. And I'm sure that some of those books are around there, or you can look them up, but there's some interesting books about Ramana Maharshi and the way he worked with people whose souls were leaving their body, including his own mother. And I found those descriptions to be really accurate. And I think it would help your practice to read that story about him.
Could you send her the link to it?
That's a book. It's online, actually. I think you can maybe read it online. Stories of Ramana Maharshi.
Well, just see if you can find it and point her in the direction. So if she chooses to, she could read it.
Yeah. Or I could send her my copy. I'm finished reading it, but I like to have it back. The teachings of Ramana Maharshi. I believe, though, that there's some that are just online.
I could order it from Amazon also. So if the name of the book is The Teachings of Ramana Maharshi.
And well, actually, the story of how he helped his mother leave her body is in. I'm not sure where I saw it exactly. That's what I'm hesitating about. But I believe I read it both online in a story and on the book, in the book.
Okay, how about you take a picture of the book and post it on the Heart Drops thread?
Okay.
All right.
I can do that now.
I also have a very deep relationship to Ramana Maharshi, so I would like to know. I'd like to read the story too. It didn't ring a bell. I don't think I have.
Thank you,
Sure.
So, did we find, is she in the Heart Drops thread?
She is now.
Did I successfully put her in?
No.
Who?
I wonder, Shekinah. I wonder why I thought I did. I started it, didn't I? I thought the reason somebody asked me to do it, other people asked me to do it, is because maybe the person that started it had to do it. But that's not the case.
It's not. I was able to add her a few minutes ago.
And did she practice anything? I mean, did you test it?
I mean,
Huh?
I mean,
Okay. Would you text in that thread?
and
Would
say like, hey
you,
guys, this is
do you have things on mind, right?
like website and stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm about to revamp everything because my name changed, but I can still put
Yeah, just
that in.
if anybody wants to look around, give them someplace to look. And
It's raining.
raining?
Raining hard now.
Huh?
Sounds like it's raining hard.
Yeah. Cool. You love it?
Yes.
I do. Also, if you could be inspired to just talk about your stuff on, and community be on that thread. If something comes up, do that. And would you be interested in introducing yourself here to everyone?
Sure.
What you do, what you're passionate about, whatever comes through.
Yeah.
All right. This is Shekinah, and meeting her has been really an earth-shattering type experience for me because I've never met another one like that.
Hi guys, my name is Shekinah Love. I live in Carlsbad. I'm originally from Orange County, and I grew up in Christian Free Methodist Church. Always felt very, very connected to God and to worship and Dharma and spirit. In college, so I'm an artist. I've been an artist since I was forever, and I was homeschooled when I was little, so my mom taught me a variety of different types of artistic techniques. It wasn't just painting. I learned how to embroider, press flowers, mosaic. I would rearrange the furniture in my room like every other day. Would build forts in the garage, would build forts outside. Always believed in magic. So even though we were Christian, we believed in magic. So I believed in fairies, I believed in mermaids. I would always look for them. And in college, I started to heal consciously through my art. And that's when I also realized that art was ceremony and ritual as you invite the divine to come through you and out through your hands. So once that shift happened, I began pursuing art in a ceremonial way and also studying the foundations of ritual and ceremonial practices, altar creation, mediumship, psychic abilities. And as things have continued to progress, I learn more and more from lots of different resources. And I view life as ritual and ceremony and art, living, breathing art, living, breathing awe and devotion. It just feels like it just keeps getting better and better. So
Yeah, it's like your life is the ultimate expression of being an artist, and your art is your life.
And I don't even need to create anything because it's already created, but I'm creating, so I'm gonna keep creating.
No, I hear you're creating art within the art.
Yeah.
Little arts in the big
It's
art.
like Horton hears a hoop.
Keep going. That's more to say.
I have a brother. He's graduating from the Naval Academy in beginning of May. He's moving to Hawaii. He's graduating. He knows Mandarin. My mom lives in Orange County. She's a therapist, and she is like Mother Mary Kuan Yin fairy, but she's as tall as me, and she's absolutely adorable. I love her so much. I'm very involved in developing communities. So I'm part of a dream weaving community. It's where we focus on moving through the elements, so fire, air, earth, water, ether, and then also learning how to support women in all different phases of their life because we're all just reflections of each other. Some of my dreams are building a children's mystery school, building temples and sanctuaries around the world, doing temple reconstruction or like temple love, rejuvenating spaces, and working with clients that like have a bunch of money and working with clients that have nothing, or like working with communities that have nothing, and just creating beauty around the world, in addition to ascending and exploring multidimensionality and altered states of consciousness.
Say a little bit more about.
I get more ice.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Say a little bit more about art. Your statement, something about art experience through ceremony. Say a little bit more about that.
How I approach art in the studio is ceremony. So I will light my incense. I'll have somewhat of an intention of what I want to create or what direction I'm going. But once I open, I just really go with my intuition and don't think as much. But art as ritual and ceremony can look a bunch of different ways. It can look like a healing ceremony. It can look like some sort of a celebration. It can look like a burn ritual where you're burning things away. Art as ceremony, I often incorporate mantra and affirmation into my work. And so like I have these types of work called portal paintings where I'll identify a type of energy that I want to create. I'll pick a mantra or affirmation that is in line with that intention. And then the whole background of the piece is that mantra written as I'm listening to it and chanting it into the physical art piece, creating an energetic circuit between myself and the mirror that's right in front of me, which is essentially just me. And then I combine specific color and shape combinations to create the structure for that intention. And then I'll add in mixed media elements such as feathers, shells, embroidery, again, supporting that energy. So if I'm working with a masculine energy, then the physical mark making and the movement may be more masculine than if I'm working with a feminine energy. I may put rose petals, I might like paint a little softer, what I'm listening to is softer. So it's an immersion in the energy, and the ceremony part is just like I'm in love.
I think you relate to life as a ceremony. Yeah. It's beautiful. Thank you. I know a little bit more about you than I did before, just a little bit. But a little bit goes a long way.
Wow, that's exciting. You and I have similar approach to our art. I use mixed media too.
Ooh, I'd love to see.
Well, I've kind of given up on ever having a website. I've tried several times. But
I
if
have
you
this
ever come to
idea.
Santa Fe, I'd love to share my art with you.
Ooh, yes, 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 yes.
So I have this idea that when Shekinah was talking,
Oh, is this yours?
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
that's a little mandala I did for Mercida. But I used I did a painting of Mary Magdalene that Mercida has, and the wings, her wings are made of rose petals. And I believe that,
Beautiful.
I don't know where she has that painting. It might be at Liberty somewhere, or it might be, you'd have to ask Mercida where she put it. She has several pieces of my art, but I'd really love for you to see the painting I did of the Vajrasattva mantra, because that one is, I think, one of the most interesting pieces I ever channeled. And that one is also at Liberty or somewhere. Mercida would know because I've given Mercida a lot of my art, but I can take some pictures and send them to you, but they mixed media pieces have to be really seen in person. And I was
Yeah.
listening to you, and I really want you to see those two paintings, the angel of Mary Magdalene and the Vajrasattva mantra that I did in Long Beach and gave it to Mershid, because that has the Vajrasattva mantra in it. You and I have similarities. I can't wait to meet you. I hope you come to Santa Fe.
I can't wait to hug you. Yes, I'll be coming to Santa Fe someday, and I'm excited to see you.
Oh, well, just let me know.
I will.
We'll get together here. I have my
Yay.
studio in my apartment.
We'll go find some fairies.
Yeah. Come
Bring
see
some
me.
bones.
I'll give you a
I
big
had this,
home hug.
I had this idea that when she was first talking, that you ought to post your contact information on the hard drive thread and say anybody would like to do a FaceTime or, like Google
Get to know each other better.
FaceTime chat, messenger chat, and then you can show people.
Oh, yeah.
I just love this technology. It makes
Let's
things
do that.
almost like being in
But
person.
soon we're gonna have
Yeah.
a hologram.
Let's do a
You know?
FaceTime. You could do a FaceTime.
Yeah, okay, well, you
Cool.
probably already did it. If you didn't do it, you'll do it tonight.
I'll do it.
Yeah, she'll do it, and then y'all can just get on
Yeah.
video together.
And I posted the Ramana Maharshi book online already on the hard drops.
I'm just gonna be quiet for a minute and go see what else is gonna come back.
Before we go, I'd like to sing the Vajrasattva mantra, Jim.
Okay. That's wonderful.
Okay. You're welcome to join us. It may be easier though if you remain muted so that the speaker comes through.
Say that again?
Sometimes if they're unmuted, it'll bounce back and forth between who's actually speaking, and they won't always hear us.
Well, it's not doing it right now. You're talking, so why don't you give it a go?
Yeah, you can leave.
No,
What is she asking?
yes.
He's asking me to sing it slow.
Doesn't have to be slow.
Om Benza Safa Samaya Manupalaya Benza Safa Teneba Tishta Titu Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Arurato Mebawa Satu City Mebawa Yatan Sabakamo Suzame Fiton City Kuru Hom Ha Ho Bhagavan Sabatata Meza Mama Meza Meza Bawa Ma Samaya Sato
Two more times.
Yeah,
Just keep going.
Yep.
Om Benza Safa Samaya Manupalaya Benza Safa Teneba Tishta Titu Mebawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anorato Mebawa Saba City Mebawa Yatan Saba Como Susan May Sikun Shiri Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saba Tate Gata Meza Mama Meza Meza Bawa Ma Samaya Sato Om Benza Safa Samaya Manupalaya Benza Safa Teneba Tishta Titu Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anorato Mebawa Saba City Mebawa Yatan Saba Kamo Susan May Seton Shiri Kuru Hom Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Saba Tate Gata Meza Mama Meza Meza Bawa Maha Samaya Sato
Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manapalaya Vajrasattva Tenabatishta Titamabawa Sutokaya Mebawa Supokaya Mebawa Anaratamabawa Sarvasiddhike Mayatan Sarvakama Sudame Titan Siddhi Guru Ho Ha 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 Ho Bhagavan Savatata Meza Mama Meza Meza Bawa Mahasamaya Sato
Wow.
Super fun.
Could y'all sing it backwards for me?
Start with that, huh?
Good enough.
Got let off the hook there, huh?
We will probably be here for another hour.
It's such Shaker. You're gonna want to look up the translation of the Vajrasattva mantra.
What she said?
She said that Shekinah should look up the translation of the Vajrasattva mantra.
Shekinah should.
Look up the translation.
Was she not here?
Oh,
Shekinah.
thank you.
I just.
Yes.
I gotta get back in my body.
Where did she go? She's everywhere.
Are you inside or outside?
Yeah.
Have you ever had the experience that on retrospect you realize that you've been part of somebody your whole life, and all that's changed is your atoms have collided. That's a Rumi idea. He says people are so happy when they make a new friend or meet a new friend, somebody they just feel close to, like I've always known you, that kind of feeling. But actually, they've been in each other all along, and just their atoms just collided. And so I definitely had this experience with this being over here. We've been together forever, but our atoms have collided, and it's opened the world I live in and the world of my inner self and the world of my outer self and community into a whole new phase. Like it was like being born again. Like, it's so big, it's only happened, only experienced, if I leave my mom out of it, I only experience this happening once before. So it's a big wow. Yeah. Big wow. Big wow. Oh, hey, we hadn't got them.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have them?
For on the camera?
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to get everyone in the camera, I don't think.
We can't?
I don't think
We bought the smart camera.
that's the one down there.
Yeah, it can follow.
Camera down there. That camera.
Did Mercedes get her package?
Yes.
I have it zoomed all the way out.
Got me already. I think Justin is the only person.
He's just saying having everyone in the camera.
Oh, visually?
Yes. Isn't yeah, it won't it only picks up so much.
You have to go a little further. We only got one of them.
I don't know if it'll. There it'll go.
Oh, there they are in the corner.
Yeah. All right. Best Dharma night of all time. I often say this, but I just have to say it again. That this is the most important time in my life here and what I do here, that I'm able to build, I found a vehicle to build sanghat, which I've always been aware is a missing part of my work and what I came here to create. And so in many ways, everything that led up to this, everything that happened in my life and my work with people before this was leading up to this moment. And tonight was a good experience and expression of what Sangha is and also can be. And also there's a birth happening because I have a new partner in life. It's that kind of experience. And so as our atoms have collided, it's not visible so much, but the whole world has changed. Things just, no, I'm not the same anymore. Things aren't the same anymore. And it doesn't matter whether anybody can see it or not. I understand it and I live in it. So, let's see. I don't have anything else I want to talk about. Does anybody? Okay, we usually close out with something that Clint and I enjoy, which is Japanese yes. Yeah.
I think I heard it last time, but let's do it
You know
again.
what yes is in Japanese?
You said it, I forgot what it was.
It's H-A-I. So, hi! Yeah, so Clint, who loves this as much as I do, is going to lead us in 3 Japanese yes to close it out.
Okay.
Hi! Hi!
Hi.
Hi!
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
Hi! Hey,
Hi.
computer, turn off.
Hi.